Like a lot of people are interested in this field to come into construction and design and build and interiors, building. A lot of engineers, a lot of business students too. So, what is one advice you give to them?
From the industry, it's very challenging. It's very interesting. Lot of humongous scope in terms of development and the work and all. There is a lot of opportunities. Definitely, one should, if thinking about coming in construction, if thinking coming into interiors and all, there is a wide scope.
I'm Khushi Srivastava and I'm a business student. And today I'm here with Mr. Bhupender, who is the founder and director of KK Technocrats, which is a commercial interior design and build firm. It has been running since 15 years now, if I'm correct, sir.
You are right.
Yes, and they have completed 200 plus projects. Sir was a civil engineer and has a lot of experience in the industry. And he has worked in renowned organizations in the same field before. And that's why I'm here today to learn from you, sir.
Great. Welcome, Kusi.
Welcome, sir. So, sir, my first question is that before this, you were before you got into KK Technocrats, what were you doing? Like, what was the experience you were gathering? What was the knowledge you were gathering that you applied in KK Technocrats?
Great. Good question, Kusi. So yeah, before getting into a business, I'd been into the same industry, and it was almost for plus 10 years, right? So after my graduation, then my post graduation, somewhere in 2001, then I joined a company. They were specialized into a similar profile. They were doing design and build interiors. So that's what that's how I started my career, and that is where I learned interiors and the DNB process and systems. Lot of learning in 10 years. That is what I've implemented in this company. So that's how we are running for successfully for 15 years now.
Thank you, sir. What are the changes in the industry today? You have been in the industry since a very beginning. So, what are the changes today? What are the biggest changes?
See, fundamentally, our business, our industry is same in terms of ultimately as an organization, as a company, for our client, we are delivering the projects in terms of we are making their office and all. So fundamental, it is still same. However, the procedural thing, the system, the process, the approach, you can say that these are the, fundamental of, things which have changed from since I started, I can say that, right? So that is what you can say. If you ask any specific things and all, like, a lot of technologies came in picture earlier, like 15 years back, 10 years back, the things used to be done, traditionally and all, right? Example, design, right? Design is a step one for doing the office. So earlier design used to be on papers and all. It moves to, AutoCAD and more softwares and all, advanced softwares. Thereafter, it's like, there are a lot of software which is available, which provides you the walkthroughs and all, which you can, see the design before it actually executed on the site, right? So, this kind of transformation has happened in the industry when it comes to the overall, the cycle of the project, basically, technology. Yeah.
Technology is very rapidly changing.
It is definitely. And now you see that, AI, I don't know how and where it is going to take up, but it is pretty soon, it's definitely going to take up and, cover the design aspects of the industry for sure. I know the physical work, which is a part of our business or our this industry requirement, right? The work which need to be done on site and all, probably AI may not be able to take up that 100%, but all stages before that, definitely AI is going to be the game changer.
I think a lot of people are afraid that AI will take their jobs and everything. But I think with your case, you're already very strong in execution. And I think in general,
Yeah. So our profile is, the step one or the stage one is the design and planning and all, right? So this is where, yes, any technology can come in place and still, take over. The second part of our business and profile is the execution part. So at least in India, because India is rich with availability of the human in terms of the manpower and all. So getting automations, getting mechanization and all is going to take some time. So you can say that the AI and any technology will take some time. However, The other phase, definitely it can take over.
It will definitely be interesting to
Yes,
see how AI will fit into all of this.
correct.
Yes. And then secondly, so like a lot of people are interested in this field to come into construction and design and build and interiors, building. A lot of engineers, a lot of business students too. So what is one advice you give to them?
It's a very tricky question, honestly. See, it depends upon the person interest, what exactly you want to do. It's because nowadays, your generation basically, right, they are pretty smart in terms of, they find out, they get out what they want to be basically, right? So it is very important for the individual to know what they want to do it. If you ask me, from the industry, it's very challenging, it's very interesting, lot of humongous scope in terms of development and the work and all. There is a lot of opportunities. Definitely one should, if thinking about coming in construction, if thinking coming into interiors and all, there is a wide scope.
Okay, sir. That's good to know. And then, secondly, so I was wondering this, like all of the entrepreneurs, all of the business people, they all have their tough times in the business. I'm pretty sure in the start, you might have also thought of giving up. What is something that keeps you going, keeps you showing up for your business deal?
See, the confidence in terms of the knowledge which I gained in 10 plus years while I was working, that kept me motivating that I should not give up. I can definitely sail my boat for sure. Challenges are part of your life basically, be it your personal life, professional life, study, whatever. Like, you are a student, you must be staying in hostels, you may not be having a the college hostel. So there are different challenges, right? You're away from your home, but still you're managing. So once you are putting into a situation, you learn to manage, right? And that is where you groom yourself. So similarly, like when your work profile and all, if you have learned the things seriously, if you have tried to dig out in depth and all, then you gain the experience, and that you can implement anywhere in life, and make the things happening smoothly. Challenges are always part. When you're in a business, there are different challenges. When you're in a job, there are different challenges. So challenges are part and parcel of life.
Yes, sir. Definitely. Thing. So, what are the values that you have that you have also ingrained in your business? Like, for example, if you're hardworking, you have made sure that everyone in your organization is hardworking. Yeah.
See, yes, one must have few fundamental things in your yourself basically. Then only you can do the thing successfully, right? So if you ask specifically, one must have a passion. Without passion, you can't do anything. Whatever field you are into, right? You must love doing that. I'm into interior. See, fundamentally, I'm into construction, but I'm into specifically into interiors because the one reason which keeps driving me is they are very fast moving projects, right? So every day, every project, every client, there's a new challenge, which kept motivating me, which is a motivation for me. It's a challenge for other. It may be challenging. Are how to handle this client? He is a different client. He's his way of talking, his way of approach is different than that. And at a time, we do multiple projects, right? So every client has a different nature, different approach, different requirements, and all. But that is something which I learn and groom myself to handle, and which keep motivating. And that is what I ask my team people to get into depth, understand. Don't run away, try to understand. You may not have a solution then and there, but I'm sure that down the line, when you talk to your colleagues, when you talk to your senior, junior, this and that, you can come out with the solutions and all, right? So it's a teamwork basically. So keep doing that thing. Definitely you can come out with your whatever the challenges you feel at that point of time.
So, like, you have a lot of experience in designing office spaces.
Yeah.
So, nowadays in offices, what are one of the must-haves or something different that has come up but is very crucial nowadays in offices?
See, you would have noticed, the change in the industry in terms of the working culture and profile. Nowadays, it is more of like open workspaces and all. Traditionally, if you see that, there used to be, with a hierarchy, there used to be a cabin, there has to be a cubicle, there has to be a meeting room, there has to be a separate area for, depends upon the department and all. Nowadays, the major change and transformation is the open work culture basically. That's what you see, and that is, if you see any industry, it is coming out that culture basically. So no bossism, no, department wise, separatism. There's no hierarchy wise things and all. There are a lot of, if you see specifically the startups and all, even the CEO is, sitting on the workstation and working with the entire team. So other way, the people who's, working along with him, they get motivated when they're working with the seniors or the CEO and all. So that's a different culture, it's coming up in the industry, which is quite interesting. And, give ease of working basically, and, direct interaction with your immediate seniors and juniors, which helps people to, to plan, target, and deliver basically. Office, yeah, of course. So in when you relate with the design, so obviously the designer's thought process totally changed. Right? They don't have to think in a claustrophobic kind of a design. Design, it has to be open and all. Lot of, you must say that, office should have a, natural light coming in, the natural air coming in. Those kind of, things have come into the requirements, and that's how you integrate into your design, and then, work out the designing of the project office.
Wow. And so before designing your office spaces, other than the aesthetics, there's the build part, which is behind the scenes, which is equally crucial, if not more, I believe. So
Of course.
what are those services that you guys provide, and like how have you made it possible to like make it also seamless? Like, is it your supply chain? Is it your connection with suppliers?
See, eventually end product is the office what you see, that right, that is what we expertise into, right? We have expertise into basically. So what you see office, behind that there are a lot of, other factors which are the, very important, which has an important role to play to make the office functional basically. It's like, if you go in and, see the movies. Abhi aapne recently, you must have seen the Dhurandhar 2 and all, right? What you see is 3 hours continuous, the play on the screen basically. But to, compile all together for these 3 hours, there may be a 3 years hard work of the multiple teams working together basically, right? And you see the output is 3 hours thing, right? Similarly, offices and all, there are multiple people, there are multiple department, multiple specialist work in order to deliver the, the aesthetics to the office, which is like, the primary requirement when it come out as an output basically. And to make this aesthetics functional, there are, a lot of things goes behind, like, services and all, which is very critical and crucial to make any office operational. So services is something what we deal into, the design part of course. And when it comes to the smoother deliveries and all, of course, the entire channel partners and all who are, specific dealers, suppliers, vendors and all. So it is a, ultimately a teamwork again. So initially, as I mentioned, that teamwork is very important, right?
Yes.
You must have a zeal, then the teamwork, and also if you work in team, you can deliver anything basically.
No. So in KK Tech also, I believe you have ingrained a very teamwork culture, so that everyone is collaborating and not just working in like individually.
It's a fundamental requirement for any organization to function basically. Yes, I've been trying to, do that way, follow that. But yes, there are always challenges. So challenges are always challenge.
Yeah. So also when you deal with clients, so they must have their own expectations. By the same point, they have their own budgets.
Yes.
So yeah. So how do you balance it?
That's the biggest thing to, to manage is the budgeting part basically, because every client, most of the client, right, have a lot of big dreams in terms of, because anyone, like, it is like when you're making home, you want to be a, very niche kind of high class, this and that. But obviously you also have a limitations in terms of your how much your pocket is allowing you. So similarly, offices and all, there are always the challenges, there are always limitations. But in order to cater the client expectations versus, the challenge in terms of the commerce and all, there are a lot of, way out basically, I can say, in terms of playing with the materials, playing with the brands, giving the alternatives, and also there are always, alternatives available which can still get the the results what client may be expecting. So that is what is an expertise which people can do it. So we have that expertise basically to deliver the expectations of the client.
I think that's what also sets apart KKT, because the years of experience, or you can tell us, like, what do you think truly sets apart KKT?
See, the flexibility. We are not ever, we are ever, adamant with anything. This is what only possible, this and that. There are always way out. So as per the client expectations and requirement, we come up with the alternative suggestions and solutions, which helps client to make a decisions, considering the all parameters like timeline, maybe, and most importantly is the budget and all. So that's keep us aside from the others competitor, you can say.
Yes. And as I'm young, currently I'm studying business. A lot of my peers and everyone, we're all like, whoever wants to come into business too, we're all wondering ki, should we go into a job? Should we go into business? What is more preferable nowadays? Apart from like passion obviously should be there. But what do you think is like an ideal journey?
See, even if you see the governments, government of India, the PMOs and a lot of departments are encouraging people to come into a business, be an entrepreneur yourself. But with my experience, if you ask my opinion about it, one must have that vision for sure. But in order to convert that vision into a reality, one must gain a practical experience in the industry of your choice. How do and where do you get the experience? You must get into a job. You must first burn your fingers working with the the jobs and all, job profiles and all. Learn from there, irrespective of whether you have a business background or if you don't have a business background. If you don't have a business ground, for sure you need to learn into the in the industry. And if you have a business background, then you can you don't have to put so much of time and effort into learning in terms of the practical from the ground or from the industry. But still I would suggest, as a for the youngest people and all, you must learn 2 3 years, 4 years, 5 years in the industry, then get into your business thing and all.
That's very helpful, and I think it makes a lot of sense.
It is because business has lot of functional requirement basically, right? It is just not that if you take my example, I am expert maybe into execution. I know in and out every of execution everything, but end result is basically an office which has lot of different functional requirement and different verticals to come together. So to learn all that thing, you must learn somewhere. Then only, otherwise if you directly jump into something and you don't know the other aspects, like if you don't know out of 10, if you know only 2 things, you can be expert of 1 or 2 things. What about the 18? So you have to see how collaboratively these department works, people works, how they function to each other. So yeah, these all learning will come from experience. Experience mean from working. My experience, personal experience and advice is learn while doing work, doing job, and then plan for the business and all whatever you think so.
Got it, sir. Also, so like everyone should have skills, obviously. There are some technical skills people have, there's some soft skills people have, like communication and confidence. What do you think are like top soft skills that from a young age you should develop so that they help you in the future and help you navigate your career?
See, you must go with the way the technologies and things are introduced in the system and all. So as in younger people and all, I must suggest you should be able to acquaint yourself with the new technology, new things, the new process and all, right? That will definitely help you a faster learning and all, as compared to the traditional things and all.
So like having a flexible, adaptable mind.
Must, yes, you must have that.
Apart from being your business owner self, who is Bhupender Kumar Ramaiya?
See, if you take aside my profession and all, so I am a as a Bhupender, as an individual, I am a good sports person. I am I love sports in terms of whatever sports if you pick, but my preferred sports are like badminton. I'm a good badminton player. I'm a marathon runner. Uh, I'm a gym freak. I'm a good father. I'm a leader of my family, you can say. So that's what Bhupender is in totality.
That's good to know. And obviously, like with KKT, you started with a vision. So, can you elaborate, like, what when you were starting, what you had in mind, what you had imagined?
See, the behind the source behind starting KKT basically, right? Of course, one thing is that I wanted to be the first in my family to start to get into a business. That was the one of the fundamental reason you can say, because my entire family, I mean my parental generation, all of them were into a government jobs or in job basically. In fact, in our generation also, most of my first cousins, relatives, and all are into jobs only, be it a private, be it a government, and all. So I wanted to change the mind within my family that if beyond job also there is something, if there is an opportunity.
That's very inspiring.
Right?
Yes.
So that is one of the major seat. Then secondly, while I was in a job, it was like in 2001 and all, right? So a lot of areas which I used to see while on projects and all, the possibilities of improvising the system process, channels and all, right? So I thought if I get into a business, if obviously I'll get into the business what I'd been learning, so I'll see that how I can improvise those fundamental areas and all, and make the things better from the business perspectives as well as the work perspectives basically. That was the another reason, or the the reason for driving into a business.
I think starting a business also took out your most potential because you had to do a lot of things and learn.
Yeah, you can say that that is the another reason basically, because while when you're working as a as an employee in any organization or whatever level and all, you are always being limited with given task or directions and all, right? So vice versa, when you get into a business, so you have to work out the task and all for your team and all. You have to overall do the overall look over everything and all. So these are the different it's a game changer basically from this to this. So that's made me yes.
Yes. And I think it must be really important to prioritize things. Like as you said, you have to think of the task and everything. You have to have a very clear
Yes, of
thinking.
course, because for end result you need to plan. You need to work out the workflow. You need to link to all these things in a way that what will come after what, right? So you have to channelize the things and all, right? So these are all part of your planning and thought process, and this all comes with your experience, right? So it is, yes, of course it is linked, and that's how you work out, and you work out the end target basically.
Where do you see KKT go?
See, with the current position of KKT in the market, I very well see that if we do a little better in few areas, which I know that we need a more improvisations and all, we can stand out ourselves from a competitor as an easily recognized, well maintained, well organized, well disciplined, well committed company in the industry, right? As a contractor, because as a contractor, the word contractor do not have a very good reputation in the market when it comes to the reputation as a business basically. So as a contractor, people do not recognize contractor as a company. First of all, they do not recognize a company as a company basically. They always think that it is an one person running show basically. Like you must have heard about Lala approach and all, Lala company basically, right? So it's like one person doing everything. They still think that Bhupender is everyone. He is everything. He's only one person, and whatever things, if be it decision, be it side problem, be it client expectations, call Bhupender, right? So that thing has to be changed basically for sure, and that's how we want to stabilize KK Technocrats as an organization, as a company. It is not a one-man driven show basically.
There's a whole team.
There's a whole team behind behind the curtain basically.
Yes, sir. And sir, One more question I have is that in the industry that you are, in the commercial interiors sector that you help design and build, so you have also had experience in designing and building residential high-end spaces. What do you think is the difference? Why primary focus on here? What is
That's a very good question, actually. Yeah, very. As I said, in between during discussion, why I'm into interiors. Though my background is I'm a hardcore civil person, civil engineering. I have a specialization in project management, which is applicable in any industry of construction basically. I'm into interiors because interiors, commercial interiors are really fast track projects basically. So every day there is a new client, new challenge, new requirement, new expectations, new delivery, and blah blah things to manage basically. Vice versa, if you say interiors, residential or other sectors, especially residential, if you have asked that, residential is they're very slow in terms of the action. And why they are slow? Because anyone who's making a house home basically, they have a sentimental attachment with the house, right? They want to do the things very precisely, they want to get everything converted, their thoughts, their process into a reality. So they take a lot of time, right? So they don't move fast, and that is the reason I don't like getting into residence and all. I'm used to habitual of doing things faster, quick. You think, you decide, you ask my opinion, you ask a solution from me, we'll provide you and we will implement it. Simple.
Nice. So, one question that I have is that so people like business owners who are starting an office, who are gonna shift operations to a business, like a place, like a proper place where people will come. So, what do you think is something they should keep in mind before they start designing an office or hiring someone to design an office?
See, when you go to hire some professional, be it whatever it is, maybe like if you see if you go to a doctor, right? How do you select which doctor you should go for? The first of all, I should know that what is the problem I have. Then I should know that which doctor can, which specialized doctor can, handle my problem basically, right? He can understand. So doctor means it's a general word, doctor. So it's like general word is design or interior design. Now, who could be the best for you? That you need to figure it out. How you will figure it out? That doctor's experience, his market reputation, his commitment towards his clients, right? And nowadays in your generation, again, there are a lot of digital platforms where you can see the reviews, this and that, and see that who is the best doctor. So a lot of people will say that he's a very nice doctor, he really patiently listen you, understand you, and then he gives a treatment and all, right? He's a doctor, like somebody said that my experience, he is the one, after hearing it out, he can easily find out what is the issue, what is the problem, right? So similarly, for hiring any professional, especially when it comes to the design or something, as a client, you must understand that the company background, their past delivered projects. You must take a referral from their existing clients and all, how they have worked, what kind of approach they have, do are they really committed to the commitment they are making on the tables and all, and are they flexible to accommodating your expectations, requirements and all. So these are the parameters based on one must take a call basically to select the right person to give you the service basically.
So when someone comes to KKT for their services, what are they coming from? Design consultancy, design and build.
We are delivering different aspects of the interiors basically, depends upon the client requirement and choice basically. We have a experienced team to deliver only your design requirements. We have a solid team to deliver to from design to the build part basically. We have a solid team to play. If you already have a design and all, you already have the things in place, you just want to convert that design into a reality, we have expert team into. So we are flexible and we have all possible solutions available with us when it comes to the interiors, especially the commercials, fit outs basically.
Sir, it was really nice talking to you. Do you have any message to your KK Tech team or anyone who's watching?
See, whoever is seeing this specific, discussion, basically, I won't say with Kusi, who's a bright student of, she's doing a business management, I think specialization into entrepreneurship and family business basically, right? So only thing I would say that give your 100% when it comes to the study, because this is the very crucial time for you to learn the fundamental, because unless you learn the fundamental, and all fundamentals are there in the books. So spend time with books, love the books what you are into, take the things from books, relate with your the practical aspect in terms of in the market reality basically, and groom yourself with more learning basically. So this is your time for learning as of now. Learn, and same thing for my people who are working with me, learning is never ending process basically. Till your last day on in this world, you still learn something or other, right? So keep learning, and extract the best out of your learning, and try to implement that into a reality, right? Start with your own, then go to the next basically. So that is the message I would give to the all young people, and to be an entrepreneur in future.
Sir, that is a very strong message, and I for sure learned a lot from this interview. Looking forward to talking to you more, learning from you, and this was definitely very helpful for me, and I
Great.
hope for everyone. Yes.
Thank you. So most welcome, and whenever you feel like you're welcome here, anytime you can, want to come and explore something else in terms of, taking more experience, real time experience, most welcome to the KK Technocrats. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Kusi.